Hey everyone, this is Rachel and I have for you something just a little bit different today. Rather than a processing video, I do have for you a kit put together video. A friend of mine, Crystal, she mentioned that she was going to be kitting up a bunch of her Felicity Jane stash, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is such a good idea because I have a lot of older Felicity Jane. I haven't purchased anything from Felicity Jane in a while, simply because I have a lot of stuff and I'm just trying to be more mindful. And I was thinking to myself, it's all just in one bag like this. I'll show you. So this is all Felicity Jane. And obviously I've pulled out some kits, so I actually don't have a ton left now. So yay me. Okay, so what I did is I have 5 page kits. Now normally I like my kits to be a bit on the larger side, enough where I can make 4 or 5 layouts from one kit. These particular kits are smaller. They're really meant just for 1 or maybe 2 layouts, and I made them with specific photos in mind. And that's how I like to do kits. When I make kits, I like to have photos in mind. Now, in this particular case, I did actually pick photos out, and that is because, for those of you who don't know, International Scrapbooking Day is coming up on May 4th, very Star Wars year. And so I'm trying to prep for that. I hope to actually scrapbook on that. There are tons of challenges all around. Now, I might mention that I myself am going to be on a YouTube live hop. So there will be, I think it's 7 or 8 ladies who are doing an hour of YouTube live. There's all sorts of different scrapper styles going on, and I think some are more art journaly. I'm not 100% sure on that, so I have no idea. But I will make sure when we get closer to that, which is it's not really not that far away, it's like a couple weeks, I will put information on my Instagram. My Instagram is Ollie Scraps, just in case you wanted to know. And I'll also put that in the description box below. But let's actually get back to the page kits. So when you're going to, say, a crop, or if you're going to do an event like National Scrapbooking Day, where there's lots of challenges going around, and you definitely want to be able to perform, you know, your best. You want to be able to get things done and get through, and making kits is one of the really best ways to be able to do that if you keep yourself to what you have in front of you and maybe just allow yourself a couple of little search into your stash. Like for me, I almost never do alphas because my alphas sit just to the right of me, and yes, I totally had to do the left hand makes the L, so this is your right, this is turning right, and then I almost never pack enamel dots because, once again, enamel dots are one of my absolute favorite things. So I like to poke through those and find the right color, whether it's a shape or a dot or whatnot. All right, so I'm going to quickly go through all of the kits, and I just have them in an iris container. There aren't a lot, it isn't filling it up. I happen to have an extra one. So I'm just layering them on top of each other, and that way I can quickly grab them when it's time to start scrapbooking. So this first one is one I have where I only have one photo. I only have one photo because it's the only photo I have of this particular story I want to tell. That is me as a baby, and then that is my little Curious George, and I have a little story about this that I've wanted to tell for quite a while, actually. So from my Felicity Jane stash, I pulled several of the older style stickers. These were ones that would come on a sheet and you'd have to fussy cut them out, and so that's really early Felicity Jane. Then I have several die cuts, and that's what she moved to after a while. I also have some chipboard pieces and a couple of her flair, and then from my stash I also pulled these wood veneer. Yes, they're called wood veneer, Rachel, just in case you wanted to know. All right, so what I did is I do keep a lot of my Felicity Jane scraps. So for each of the kits, I did go into this my little scrap bag of Felicity Jane and pull some things. So I did pull this diagonal stripe pink on white. On the back side is a bold black and white stripe. And then I have my papers. I pulled 2 to 3 papers depending on whether there was a solid color that went with it and whether I liked it or not. So how I usually start a kit is I choose a piece of pattern paper that has multiple colors on it. In this case, it was this piece of paper. This came out in the Brook collection. So this watercolory floral piece, see, it said floral and waves, and because it said waves, my brain went water, and I said water instead of floral, but they are a very watercolored look of a floral. The B side are these black and white waves. I did, however, choose it for this side. I then chose this pink and white one, which is called Fountain and Dotty Stripe, and that is the B side of that. And that's from the Henley collection. And then I also chose this black and white mini heart. And the B side of this is this scattered yellow polka dot, and this is actually from the Zoe collection. So while they're from different collections, they all work together, and you'll note I have different size patterns as well as different colors, all that should be able to be used for this particular photo. I love that bright pink blanket behind me. I don't know if that's a blanket or pillow. I don't remember. I was very tiny here. All right, so that is my first page kit. I'm going to go ahead and get the second page kit set up. All right, so here's my second page kit. Now this obviously has more of a masculine feel to it. I'm going to be scrapbooking these 2 photos of one of my stepfather's dogs, and he is a boy, so I wanted to keep it a little more on the robust side, I guess you would say. I once again have some flair, some die cuts, some wood veneer, some of the cut aparts, some of the chipboard, and then I'm also adding in these epoxy heart stickers as well. Those are also Felicity Jane. Everything is Felicity Jane except that Sia flair and then the wood veneer. All right, I also have a couple more scraps. I have this multicolor stripe with the black and white. Woo! Let's turn that one back over. That is crazy on the eyes. Black and white squiggle, and then this very bright aqua, and then the paler aqua for my scraps. And then I have my inspiration piece, and this is actually called Geometric and Wood Grain, and I picked it for the wood grain. I do love the wood grain. I know, it's not multicolor, but it's what inspired me. So while the majority of my papers that I picked started off with the multicolor, this one started off with this wood grain. I then picked this piece of paper, which is multicolor. It is from the Henley collection, and it is called Spots and Sketch. I don't remember if I mentioned. The first piece of paper is from the Heidi collection. And then this one, which has these multi-patterned black and white stripes, and this is the side I picked it for, and then this is the B side. I no longer have the branding strip. I must have liked it and used it in a layout. I believe this is either Henley or Willow. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what that is. So these are the papers I have picked. As I said, I'm really just looking to make 1 or 2 layouts from this, and then picked photos specifically for that. I do have another photo of my stepfather's 3 dogs that I want to scrapbook, so I might just go ahead and pull that out if I have extra paper, or I might not. All right, moving on to the next page kit. All right, so here's my third page kit. Obviously very different from the other 2 I've done, but still working within Felicity Jane for the most part. Now, these are 2 photos that I've had in my photo stash for like 3 or 4 years, and I've always had a hard time with them simply because the colors are so bright, and when I tried to move them to black and white, it did not work out because there's too much detail going on. So because all the colors are super primary, anything to go with it tends to be very babyish. So I thought, I have a lot of black and white in the Felicity Jane kits, so why don't I pull out, majoritively wise, a lot of black and white. Now, obviously not all black and white. There's got some navy in here and some color, but for the most part, I'm sticking black and white. All right, so I have these chipboard pieces once again, some more of the epoxy hearts, one of the cut aparts. I pulled in this white tag and I had cut a bunch of these on my silhouette and I just pulled one in from here, and then I have a few of the die cut pieces. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Rather than wood veneer, I thought because this is very bold, the black and white and everything like that, I would pull in acrylic instead. And I grabbed these stars in yellow, blue, and red, as they are the primary colors that match my photos. From my scrap bag, I pulled out this dark gray tone-on-tone grid, and that is the other side, which doesn't really go, but I like that. And then this navy and white polka dot, and then it's got an aqua on the other side, which I probably won't use. And then this even tinier polka dot in black and white with the big floral on the other side. Once again, most likely won't be using that one. As for my inspiration piece, as I said, usually it is a multicolor piece, and I did pick this one. This is from Willow. It has this wonky polka dot in black and white on one side, but I thought because it has that orangey red, this side might work as well. I don't quite know yet. I haven't made the final decision. I may just keep it black and white. I also pulled in these two. This one is from her Black and White Essentials, and it's just a black and white diagonal stripe. The B side of this is a regimented black and white polka dot. I then have from the Kate line this side, which are the wonky open and closed stars. This is the side I picked to use with it. The warm toned rainbows are very pretty, but won't fit in what I'm looking to do here. All right, it is time to go on to my next page kit. All right, now for this page kit, I went very fanciful and very young. It's a picture of my nephew, and he is riding a faux horsey at Cracker Barrel. I'm pretty sure that I'm 100% sure actually that horsey came home with us that particular day. So he was a very happy little kiddo. Once again, I have some flair. I do have some chipboard. This is from Freckled Fawn. I pulled it in from just some stash I have. And then the die cuts, the cut aparts, and then some wood veneer. This wood veneer is from Studio Calico. I also grabbed just from, I have a little area where I keep some things I want to either, I haven't used it in a while, so I think I should use it, or it's super, super basic and it will work with a lot of things. So once if I've finished, say, because I store my stuff by collection, so I don't really have anything from this collection. I believe this was Go Now Go. I don't really have anything left of it, but I find heart puffy stickers to be usable on many different styles of layouts. So I'm like, I just put it with a bunch of stickers I have that I will ruffle through when I have a layout I'm making where I don't have a ton of embellishments for that particular line. And so I just keep that there, and I pulled that out because I thought it might work. And then as I said before, I don't usually pull alphas, but these are alpha words, and these are things I tend not to remember because I keep them separate from my actual alphas. So I wanted to see if any of these would work for this particular layout. They may or they may not. Now let me just scoot all this stuff off. From the scrap paper, I pulled this black and white hexagon, and then it has a starburst on the other side. I also pulled this watercolory rainbow with the black and white bows on the other side. But this cloud paper, this was my inspiration piece where I started off with. I just thought it was very fanciful and very young looking, and as my nephew is you know, riding a pretend horse, pretending to be a cowboy. Even though technically clouds have really nothing to do with cowboys, it made sense in my brain. And so a lot of people are like, oh, I can't use it if it doesn't make sense. To me, it just has to make sense to me. It doesn't have to make sense to everyone else. It just has to like work for me, and then I'm okay with it. So in this case, yes, I'm going to use clouds on a cowboy layout. All right, so this is from the Brook line. It's called Clouds and Scallops. The B side of this has black and white scallops. I'll have to remember to get that because I just blew it off the table. Then from the Henley collection, we have this tone-on-tone aqua called Retro and Dots. So I picked it for this side. The other side is a black and white dot. Then also from the Henley collection, we've got the Gingham and Hearts. I picked it for the gingham side, this pinky orange color, and then the B side are black and white hearts in a very regimented style. I also took one of the solid pieces of cardstock they have. It's not really cardstock, it's like pattern paper weight, but it comes in 2 tones. In this case, it's a light aqua and a medium aqua. All right, so that is this page kit. We've got one more to go before we are done. Okay, so here is my final page kit. It is to make a layout with these 2 4x6 photos about my dog Sadie. Into it, I have pulled some more of the epoxy stickers, another chipboard piece from Freckled Fawn, some wood veneer. This, I don't know what, this is the Studio Calico. This is Dear Lizzie. I don't remember what that is from. It's just, you know, randomly in my stash. I also pulled out some of the die cuts and a doily. I love using doilies on my Sadie layouts. Several flare. I don't know if I'll be using all of these, but I wanted to pull some different ones out. A couple of the cut apart from the early kits, and then 2 of the chipboard pieces. So these are what I have for my embellishments. Now, as I said, I may pull in some enamel dots. I never know when I'm going to want to use an enamel dot. From my scrap bag, I did pull in one of the 2-tone cardstocky style, well, solid pattern paper, I guess is the best way to say it. And then this multicolor stripe, and then little raindroppy dash in black and white paper. I also did pull in these foam thicker words. I really like the word hi. When I make the video, I will explain the story, of course, and this fits in. So my inspiration piece was this floral. I have always adored this floral. I've wanted to use it for a very long time, so I'm glad. I will definitely be using it for this layout. It is from the Heidi collection, and it is called Floral and Chevron, and shockingly enough, the back piece has a chevron on it as a looks more, honestly, to me, it looks more like a repeating corner, but whatever. We then have from the Willow collection this tone-on-tone actual chevron, and then the B side of this, which is this smoky blue and white stripe. I actually kind of like both for that. And then my final piece, this is a small one, I will totally admit, is just another one of the solid pattern papers in kind of a almost rusted pink color. So it's not super pinky pink, it's a very rusty pink. And then the other side is a very, very, very pale pink. All right, so those are my 5 Felicity Jane page kits. I'm hoping I can just edit this really quickly and get it up. Right now it is the day before Easter. So hopefully you like this. If you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome. Don't forget to look for my live YouTube video as part of the live YouTube hop on International Scrapbooking Day. It's going to be running, let's see, I think it's like 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time. So I'm on at 2 p.m. Eastern, which is 11 a.m. Pacific. The woman who's running it is running it on Pacific time. So if y'all are over in the Australia area of the world, you're gonna look for May 3rd because of the time difference. I mean, I'm sure in Australia, the Australian companies celebrate it on International Scrapbooking Day that Saturday because it's supposed to be the first Saturday of May. I'm rambling at this point. I apologize. Let's go ahead and end this video. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day. Bye!